I've been in my current role for some time. How will I know when it's time to change? Okay, given you're building a career, you probably don't want to spend too long in any one role. So given that, how do you know when it's time to move on? I tend to see jobs in 3 phases. If you're moving fast, you'll do each of these stages in about 6 months. But at the end of 18 months in a role, if you're still in phase 1, you may have a problem. Okay, so what is phase 1? I call this the learning phase. In episode 44, we talked about a book called The First 90 Days. If you're getting a new job, then I really suggest you read this book. It has some great insights on how to prepare for that new role. If, however, by the end of the 180th day, to the end of the 6 months, you haven't demonstrated your approach is working, you're going to have a problem. The team underneath you needs to get your direction and be driving to the metrics that you've established. Unless it's your mandate, really don't try and radically change the team in the first 6 months. If you think of a boating analogy, at the end of phase 1, you should really be trying to show that you have control of the tiller and it's going where you want it to. Okay, phase 2 is the structural problems fixing phase. Almost every role has some structural long-term difficult problems. Now, you can get the job done without fixing them, but your team will always be sub-optimized. Often the issues are not, by the way, just within your team. They're also between other teams and within the process of the company. So phase 2 is about getting these fixed. Now, sometimes these fixes can take many years, but most don't, particularly the ones about relationships. Most of the problems exist because someone has never really taken the time to focus on fixing them. In this phase, it's important to remember to show your boss the issues you are going to fix. What I tell people is that if you don't point to the holes in the ground, you're never going to get the credit for filling them. By the way, that doesn't mean you should start digging holes where they don't exist. That's probably quite enough without that. Okay, phase 3, the next phase. Phase 3 is most characterized by leaders who look at their optimized organization and ask the question, is there a completely different approach that would be better? In many roles, this is where the real innovation happens. You and your team need to think completely out of the box. You need to spend time trying to think about what you're trying to achieve, not how you're trying to achieve it. New thinking, by the way, will not come in one meeting. It's going to take some time, not only to create, but also to sell to others and then make it happen. In the end, however, successful leaders are judged more on this stage than the other 3. Bottom line here is you shouldn't let your ambition get in the way of achieving the objectives of your role. Real and substantive change takes time, and while the preparation may be frustrating, the payoffs can be huge.